People who are dating to marry, those who still read paper books or use pen and paper to write out their notes, aren't mythical creatures. It's another thing. This part of humankind is ostensibly going extinct. For millennia, humans throughout every part of the world have told tales of beasts embodying our hopes, fears, and the mysteries of both the world and beyond. While most are just myths, some do exist. And today, we'll look at 15 mythical creatures that really existed. So let's start off with number 15, Tengu. Tengu are winged forest and mountain spirits from Japanese folklore, classified as yokai. Sometimes these creatures are seen as divine messengers, other times as actual gods. They have various supernatural gifts. These include shape-shifting into animals or humans, communicating without words, appearing in dreams, and traveling vast distances without using their wings. They're also legendary martial artists. Tengu are usually portrayed as humanoid creatures with feathered wings and dressed in the traditional garb of monks. Two common depictions exist in Japan, one as a red-faced human-like figure with an exaggerated long nose, the other resembling a bird. Over the centuries, their role evolved, from feared demons who caused mischief and punished arrogance to respected beings associated with protection, wisdom, and discipline. In folklore, they were known to train warriors, challenge the prideful, or appear as guides in sacred forests. Whether revered or feared, the Tengu is one of Japan's most recognizable yokai, forever perched between divine messenger and supernatural force. Number 14, the Sphinx. This legendary being is more than a big statue in Egypt or a bad monster from ancient Greek myth. It symbolizes riddles, mysteries, and challenges to overcome. The Sphinx first emerged in ancient Egypt, carved as a stone lion with a human head. The most iconic is the Great Sphinx of Giza, which was built around 2500 BCE. Pharaohs believed it stood guard over their tombs, its silent gaze surviving through centuries. But the Greeks imagined the Sphinx quite differently. They portrayed it as a winged creature with a lion's or dog's body and a woman's face. Their version wasn't a protector, but a deadly test for mortals. What about real-life encounters? The Sphinx is, of course, mythical. Still, its image appears everywhere, adorning bridges, buildings, and museums. Online, some claim to have seen a real Sphinx. Likely, these are illusions or hoaxes. But if one truly existed, would it guard temples or watch us from skyscrapers? Number 13, Scorpion Man. Scorpion men, also known by their Akkadian names Akrabuamalu or Gertablilu, appear in various mythic texts written in the now extinct Akkadian language of ancient Mesopotamia. These fearsome creatures had the upper body of a man and the lower body of a giant scorpion. I mean, like for real. According to legend, they were created by the primordial goddess Tiamat to wage war against the younger gods as revenge for Apsu's betrayal, her divine consort. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, scorpion men serve a new role as guardians. They stand watch at the gates of the sun god Shamash, located in the Mashu Mountains, the passageway leading into Kurnugi, the land of darkness and the dead. When Shamash ascends each morning, they open the gates for him. At dusk, they close them again as he descends into the underworld. With their deadly stingers and divine purpose, scorpion men remain one of Mesopotamia's most fearsome and fascinating hybrid creations from the mythic age. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's cool. Number 12, White Stag. This beast has been used interchangeably with the unicorn. This mythical creature appears in the folklore and mythology of various civilizations and cultures. Representations of the white stag can be found in ancient records and artwork from Mesopotamia, Babylon, Mongolia, China, and even in Japanese traditions. Since deer were historically hunted for food and prized for their leather and bone, it's not surprising that legends arose from sightings of rare white stags. In Celtic mythology, the white stag symbolizes life beyond Earth and the unseen forces that dwell there. The Celts considered it a messenger from the other world, believed to trigger profound transformations in those who encountered it. Legends say it would appear when a sacred law, rule, or oath had been broken. And whenever a person crossed paths with one, consequences followed, often spiritual in nature. These encounters have occasionally sparked pivotal events, some even believed to have led to the rise of entire nations or kingdoms. Number 11. Behemoth. First of all, I don't know why a creature this big and mysterious doesn't get more credit. The behemoth is a colossal land beast from Hebrew mythology. It's first mentioned in the Hebrew Bible's Book of Job. The name itself literally means beast. While its exact nature isn't clear, the text describes it as chewing grass like an ox, which is why many early interpretations pictured it as a monstrous, oversized ox. Over time, Christian scholars and occult writers, especially during the Georgian and Victorian periods, reimagined Behemoth as something even more fearsome, a gigantic demon-like elephant, sometimes associated with gluttony or chaos. Others argued it was simply a poetic reference to the hippopotamus, given its massive size and strength. Still, the behemoth wasn't just an animal. It represented the raw, untamable power of creation. Whether you see it as symbolic, spiritual, or literal, the behemoth has stood as one of the Bible's most unforgettable creatures, a living challenge to the idea that man controls nature. Number 10. The Baku. The next creature we'll explore is the mysterious Baku, the Japanese dream eater. It's not a nightmarish beast, but a sacred guardian said to shield people from terrifying dreams. Unlike other spirits or demons, Baku isn't feared, it's revered. Stories of Baku go back to the 14th century in Japan. Descriptions vary. In some tales, it's a bizarre mix: elephant's head, tiger's paws, bear's body, and an ox's tail. Other versions describe it as a giant mystical tapir with glowing yellow eyes. Size-wise, it ranges from an average animal to a towering giant casting full shadows. According to legend, before sleeping, if one says aloud, "Baku, devour my dream," it'll swallow the nightmare, keeping evil at bay. But there's a catch. If left hungry, it might also take your good dreams, leaving you with emptiness. Though no real Baku has been found, its image is common in Japanese culture, seen on amulets, scrolls, and temple carvings. Today, it appears in anime, toys, and manga, still guarding peaceful sleep across generations. Number 9. Khnum. This ram-headed god of Egypt was among the earliest deities worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. Also spelled Khnemu, he was closely linked with fertility, water, and creation. Khnum was considered the divine source of the Nile, the river that breathed life into Egypt. Each year, the Nile's floodwaters left behind nutrient-rich silt, essential for agriculture. This black earth made the land fertile, and it was also used for crafting pottery. The Egyptians believed Khnum didn't just bring fertile soil, he shaped human life itself. According to myth, Khnum used a potter's wheel to mold the bodies of children out of clay, before placing them into their mothers' wombs. In doing so, he not only formed their physical shapes, but also gave them spirit and breath. Revered as both a creator and protector, Khnum's influence stretched across Egypt, and his image, horned and regal, remained carved into temple walls for generations as a god who gave life form. Number 8. Ichthyocentaurs. The ichthyocentaurs, half fish, half horse, and half man, are lesser-known but powerful figures from Greek mythology. Their origins trace back to Aphros and Bythos, two sea beings described as sons of the Titan Kronos and the ocean nymph Philyra. This lineage made them not only half-brothers to the wise centaur Chiron, but also relatives to Zeus and the elder Olympians. They were believed to have witnessed the birth of Aphrodite from the sea foam following the castration of Uranus. Legends say they helped guide the newborn goddess to the shores of Cyprus. Beyond that, their roles remain obscure, yet their presence left a cosmic imprint. As a reward for their kindness and assistance, many stories claim they were immortalized in the stars, specifically in the constellation Pisces. Their form, blending centaur and sea creature, represented wisdom, protection, and transition between the natural and divine. Though rarely mentioned, the ichthyocentaurs remain among the most mystical hybrids in ancient myth. Number 7. Wendigo. The Wendigo is a malevolent spirit rooted in the legends of the Great Lakes, northern Minnesota, and the forested interior of central Canada. Known by many names, Wendigo, Witico, Witigo, and Wetigo, they all roughly translate to evil spirit that devours mankind. The Algonquian-speaking peoples, including the Ojibwe, Eastern Cree, Innu, Saulteaux, and Naskapi, have long passed down stories of this being. Often described as a towering, emaciated figure, the Wendigo is always associated with cannibalism, greed, and unending hunger. One tale claims a Wendigo is born the moment a person turns to cannibalism to survive, common during brutal winters when starvation struck isolated groups. Survivors who consumed the dead were said to become cursed. In other versions, someone could become possessed by a Wendigo through excessive greed or gluttony alone. The myth served as a cultural warning, reinforcing restraint, cooperation, and harmony. Regardless of version, every account agrees. The Wendigo is a supernatural predator, terrifying and relentless in its hunger. Number 6. Odin's ravens. Hugin and Munin are the twin ravens of Odin, the All-Father in Norse mythology. Their names come from Old Norse. Hugin means thought, and Munin means memory. Every morning at dawn, Odin would send them soaring across the 9 realms to gather information. By nightfall, they returned to whisper all they had seen and heard. These ravens weren't just messengers, they were extensions of Odin himself. So close was their bond that ancient texts often referred to Odin as the raven god. Because of this intimate connection, it was said the birds could reflect Odin's very presence. In Seder, the Nordic form of shamanism, Odin is known for his deep magical knowledge, and animal transformation is a common practice in such rituals. Thus, it wasn't unusual for legends to portray Hugin and Munin not merely as spies, but as Odin's second self. They weren't just birds, they were memory and thought, watching the world through the eyes of a god. Number 5. The basilisk. Have you ever heard of a creature capable of ending life with only a glance? This is the basilisk, the legendary king of serpents. According to medieval tradition, it hatches from an egg laid by a rooster and brooded by a toad. It sounds unbelievable, but that was the myth. A serpent-chicken hybrid with a deadly stare. Some accounts describe it as an enormous cobra. Others show it with legs or even wings, almost like a small dragon. Its power was said to scorch or kill with a single look. But the legend also gave it weaknesses. A mirror could destroy it by forcing it to see itself, and the crowing of a rooster was believed to make it collapse lifeless. Throughout the Middle Ages, the basilisk appeared on coats of arms as a symbol of death and authority. Today, it turns up in novels, films, and games, still ruling imagination as the ultimate snake of myth. Number 4. Bunyip. In Aboriginal Australian folklore, the bunyip is a fearsome creature said to dwell in the remote swamps, lagoons, and billabongs of the outback. Descriptions vary widely, but the bunyip is generally said to have a round head, an elongated neck, and a body resembling that of an ox, a manatee, or even a massive dog. Some accounts describe it with feathers, fins, tusks, claws, a duck-like bill, a horse's tail, and even a single giant eye. Some say its stomach is its mouth. The only feature everyone agrees on? It's huge and deadly. The bunyip is said to let out thunderous roars and was rumored to prefer feasting on women and children. Though most today regard it as purely mythical, cryptozoologists still reference old fossils and alleged sightings to support its existence. Whether a case of misidentification or cultural memory of long-extinct creatures, the legend of the bunyip continues to echo through the swamps of Australia. Number 3. Chiron. Chiron, sometimes called Chiron, was a wise and noble centaur who stood apart from his kin. While most centaurs were known for their wild, unruly behavior, Chiron was the exception. Modest, disciplined, and deeply respected for his healing arts and intellect. He became a renowned teacher and mentor, instructing some of the greatest figures in Greek mythology, including Achilles, Jason, and Asclepius. Though Chiron was immortal, his fate took a tragic turn. During a skirmish, Heracles accidentally struck him with an arrow laced with the poisonous blood of the Hydra. Though he could not die, the wound left Chiron in unbearable agony. Seeking release from his suffering, he offered to surrender his immortality. In a compassionate act, he traded his life to free Prometheus, who had been condemned. Zeus accepted the sacrifice and placed Chiron among the stars. His legacy endures not just in myth, but in the constellation Centaurus, a celestial tribute to a healer, teacher, and selfless soul. Number 2. The Gargoyles. Have you noticed the eerie stone figures perched on old cathedral roofs? Well, those winged monsters are gargoyles, and their past is far stranger than many realize. Gargoyles first appeared more than 7 centuries ago in France. The earliest records date to the 13th century, when they were added to Gothic cathedrals like the famous Notre Dame. The name itself comes from an older tale of a dragon called Gargouille, slain by Saint Romanus. Originally, gargoyles were functional waterspouts to divert rain from buildings, but their grotesque forms also served a spiritual purpose. In the Middle Ages, people believed these carvings warded off evil spirits and safeguarded cities. Some legends even claim gargoyles come alive at night, roaming the streets to hunt demons before turning back to stone at dawn. No one has seen a statue awaken, but the idea mirrors real predators. Even now, cities use lifelike decoys to scare pests, modern echoes of medieval gargoyles. So, are they real or ridiculous? Well, let us know. Number 1. The Phoenix. Have you ever heard the legend of a bird that never truly dies? Well, that's Phoenix. It's a legendary creature that doesn't perish but is reborn from its ashes. The earliest mention of the phoenix appeared in ancient Egypt over 4,500 years ago, where it was known as Bennu. The phoenix symbolizes immortality and the cycle of life. According to legend, once every 500 years, it sets itself ablaze, only to rise again, stronger than before. Its tears can heal any injury, and its feathers were believed to grant longevity. Rare historical records mention mysterious flaming birds. Some travelers claim to witness a fiery red bird with golden feathers soaring through the skies. In 1862, American newspapers reported a sighting of a flaming bird over the Arizona desert at dusk. In 2013, a viral photo spread online showing a huge firebird above the Brazilian jungle, later revealed to be an illusion caused by sunlight. Though not real, it is still cool. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.